If you didn't already know, we are Creative Juices. My name is Marcus Schilling, and my co-host, with a co-host, in full frame, in full living color, is Camilla Odeon. And today is an evergreen episode. Evergreen.
This day also.
Every day is an evergreen
Every
episode.
day.
And if you like green, if green is your favorite color, then we've got a green background for you. Check it out.
Boop, boop.
So this is what we talked about last time on our last episode, which you could have watched whenever. Today is a special day, but it's also a day like every other day.
Yeah.
Because why can't every day be a special day?
Every day is special if you make it special, I think.
Exactly. And we're hoping to bring a little bit of joy and happiness into your day. But on Creative Juices today, what did we want to talk about?
We wanted to talk about people watching.
People
or observing.
Exactly, observing. This isn't like a guide of how to stalk people. It's like, this is how you get their phone numbers, find out where they live. This is not, if you're looking for that on a podcast, you've come to the wrong place.
It's not this one.
No, but I like the idea of, we're, most of us, in some sort of, maybe not a metropolis kind of area, but you're in an area where there's people around. If you live in a village, if you live on a small island or in a town, you see people around who you don't know, and you maybe create and come up with ideas of, okay, where's that person on the way to? What's their journey? What's their backstory? What has led them to come to this point in their lives? And then from that point, let's say if you're a writer and you can write stories and come up with ideas, maybe that's your jumping off point, as they say.
Like, yeah, and you can also take a picture if you ask first.
Again, not advice to just go around taking pictures. If you ask first.
Right?
And then what?
Consent.
And you're thinking you can maybe paint something from that picture, or
yes, like you can do.
Or you can just have it in your mind when you're coming up with a story.
And you can also paint right there if you have the things. Mm-hmm. But you can also just watch the behaviors.
That's
watch
actually
for patterns.
True. And honestly, when you said that, I hadn't thought about this for a while, but I thought about something now of actually taking pictures of like photos of people, which I like to do in black and white and when they're in certain ways, but obviously I ask them beforehand. And one place I've done that and asked people has been at karaoke places out in the wilds of we call it förortspubbar in Swedish. So like the pubs which are more closer to the heart of the people, I'd say. These aren't like your classiest of establishments. But in these places you find people who usually sing with a lot of like a passion and heart, and they put all their feeling behind it. And you can see that in their faces and how they are on the stage and get the microphone. And maybe some of these people, again, we write stories on our head about where they are in their life, what they're doing, but maybe some of these people don't get the chance to be in the spotlight so often, don't get a chance to be in front of a stage and singing. And you can tell in their body movement, in the faces, in the way they have a passion for what they're doing. And I like just to get pictures of that with them on stage for them, and I send them to them afterwards. And I think in every case I've done that, they're like, oh, no one, people are there and they're listening and they're clapping and polite, but no one's actually taking photos if I would be a star on the stage. And they're like thanking me for that afterwards. Some of them I could put out on places, but usually I just send them to the people and capture those moments where they're like a star on the stage with cool black and white lighting and a weird angle. But yeah.
Where they feel like a star.
They say that they do, but they might feel a lot of things in those moments as well. But, well, yeah, thank you for reminding me of that one. I forgot about it until we started talking.
Yeah. So, where can they find us, Marcus?
Where can they find us?
Yeah, our audience, where can they find us?
On Instagram. The link is here. I believe we have on other platforms.
We have YouTube, which you can be watching us now, or we have Spotify, where you can also watch us or listen to us.
And if you have an idea for a guest or somebody that you want to have on, or even a subject that you'd like us to talk about, you can write to us at info@creativejuices.se.
And it will probably show up as info@creativejuices.se.
Well, it will do now that you've done that. I could have one going up first that's backwards, and then we can just flip it when you do that. And they've thought we'd planned the whole thing.
Yeah.
We were thinking also, we had a talk as well before, because we do a bit of preparation for the shows, about ideas of maybe having inspiration while you're doing exercise. Maybe if you're running or if you're training at the gym, maybe if you try and exclude all the noise from the outer world around. Is that a time when you find inspiration?
Definitely. Yeah, especially when I'm running. Not as much at the gym, because then I'm just pumping. But when I run, I get into a flow, and I think that is the flow that makes ideas come. It's the same as we were talking a couple episodes back about the space. We're just making space for being or listening or just sitting with your thoughts for a while, because we usually feel uncomfortable doing that. So when we take the time to do that, maybe by running, we get a space where we don't get a lot of outer inputs.
You feel maybe as well that like the body and the brain and then the soul as well maybe goes to a different rhythm when you're doing this kind of exercise, like running or like a rhythmic kind of training. So therefore you find you're in a different space, which may be more susceptible to okay, this is where the creative thoughts can come in.
Yeah, definitely. And because you're open in so many ways, and often when you run, you can run inside, of course, but often when you run, you're outside, which is where all the energy meets, where you can get a lot of inputs and ideas for outputs.
I've been trying to run more often now as well, like after work, and now that it's springtime as well, it's more that it's lighter outside, it's warmer, and you feel more like, okay, I can do more things after the work day is done. And going out and running, and it puts like a fine, like work day is finished, time for running, and then what can we create after this?
Yeah.
So it's good to have these kind of exercise patterns as well to help with creativity. We're talking about how to like structure the day.
Yeah.
If it works for you in that sort of way.
And also I read a book about self-discipline, and it talked about having self-discipline as a bag, and it's full in the beginning of the day. And as you go about your day and you have to make yourself do things that you have promised or to-dos that you have to do and everything, you are taking from that self-discipline bag. So when you come to the end of the day, your bag might be empty. And this is true for your children if you have those also. So you don't have as much discipline. You can't make yourself do things in the same way as you can in the morning. So that's why for me exercise works best in the morning or around lunch. In the evening, that's when I'm spent. I just want to do, and then I can be creative, because then my body is very worked. It has done all the things. My mind has done all the things. The day is coming to an end. I have a pause, and then I can be creative.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I can find. I like the bag analogy for that one as well.
Yeah, and also that's why it's easier to keep promises in the beginning of the day. That is harder to keep in the end of the day.
Would you say it's a good idea to make all your plans in like the first hour of the day and then stick to them?
Like things that you really know you have to do, but they're gonna take some willpower, that you should put in the beginning of the day.
Did you like do a promise to yourself at the beginning of the day to do this? Should it be that well, it is obviously a serious thing, but it should be that like weighed down with like, okay, this I promised to myself to do.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Because it might require some discipline. I know we've talked to some of our guests when we talked to David and his method of having like the late morning, early afternoon as his time for sculpting, and he said not that he has to do it every day, but he had like a calling and a feeling that his body felt like it didn't feel right if he wasn't there every day.
Yeah, he treated like he framed it as, I am a sculptor, so I sculpt.
So I sculpt.
And as everyone else is working, with their work, he treated it as, well, I give time for my work, and my work is sculpting because I'm a sculptor. And I really like that too, because that makes it, you have a frame, you have something to work inside, and sometimes you don't do anything, you just or whatever.
You're there, you're in the place. When the inspiration comes or when the idea is there, then you can create, and there's nothing else which can stop you on the way.
Yeah, and sometimes you have these days where you can't stop because you're in a flow, and everything goes as planned. And
No, definitely. And I think we can talk about as well the idea of how to get over this creative block idea, because I mean that's what we're all of us people with the creative juices idea. This is what we fear the most. There's one of these big blocks coming, like, oh no, I can't think of anything, I can't do anything. It helps to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And if your comfort zone is, no, I'll just stay in and watch the same TV series I've watched over and over again. There's reruns of Father Ted are really good. That's me personally. Or you could be like, okay, I'll challenge myself. I'm going to go out running. It might be raining outside, it might be cold, but then you challenge yourself and you go out even 20 minutes, half an hour, and then you might find that, oh, you can look at the problem in another way. Or an idea might come into your head.
Yeah.
Or talking about people watching, bringing it back there again, you might see a very funny person out walking the dog in the rain, and you might think, oh, I've got a story about this person. This person's done this and this and this, and they got this dog from a dog home, and it kept running away from them the entire first week. But then after the first week, then the dog and the person were really connected, and then after that they had an adventure and they were lost in the forest, and then they found this mushroom tree, and then your story builds from there.
Story here.
I'm just saying this is how it can go, and it's like from the simple thing you took the decision instead of staying in, and not that it's bad staying and watching Father Ted for the 50th, 11th time, but if you challenge yourself and put yourself in an uncomfortable position, and then the inspiration will find you.
Yeah, and I liked also the things that Clara said in the last episode, because she was talking about having an idea, starting an idea, and then pausing it because it wasn't ready yet. And I really like that, because I mean sometimes we have these projects and then we might like pause them and start something else because we have a new idea or whatever comes up, or life, and then a couple of days or weeks later you look at it again like, well, I saw a person do this. This should be in this story, and then you can keep on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's perfect. That's why when all the bits fall into place, it's like you have all the parts, but you're not ready to put them together yet.
Yeah.
So it's not.
They are not ready to come yet.
Exactly. So the idea is, if we're thinking of like a four-dimensional concept, it's not the pieces that are wrong. It's not the spaces. It's not this. It's the time that's wrong. And when the time is right, then it fits.
And then to get even more flumic or spacious, time, is that really a concept? Or is
that would be the next thing as well. No, but in a serious sense, is time a concept that we think about? And again, because also, let's say if we get very morbid, which we do on this sometimes, but if you think at the end of your life and you have a funeral, someone will be at the front there and they'll spend 5 minutes describing all your life. And it's like, is your whole life condensed into this 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Can you describe all the things you've done when they're reading your eulogy? That they did this, they went to this school, they did this. Because you wouldn't think about it yourself. You think, oh, I'm going to just do a 5-minute presentation of everything that I've done that's important about my life. That's an absurd concept. But I guarantee very, very many people, and they've already passed away, so they can't see it themselves. Someone else condenses your life into a 5 to 10 minute thing.
And what would you want it to be? Also, like, don't wait about.
No.
Like,
say the things and do the things.
Do the things. Go, get out there. Put your heart on your sleeve and just do your things.
Most definitely. I think we have to have Clara back on as well.
Yes.
To talk about people's ideas with funerals and what they plan to do there, and how they have their thoughts and how their inspiration kind of comes alive with their last few months maybe in life.
Yeah, and also the insights that they get. I have read a lot of books with people who are near death or have been near death or have been dead and then came back, and like the insights that they get are profound. They're really it's cool. So
No.
studying people can be at a cafe or in on a road or whatever, but it can also be reading their words, reading their memoirs or
Yeah, that would be a thing.
poems.
But that's okay. That brings about another point that I've got. Is like when people say don't meet your heroes as such, a lot of authors have the idea of they don't want to meet their fans because of the reason that they know that the people who read their words, how they've written them, won't perceive them as a person when they meet them like they've written, and they don't want to disappoint their fans. You obviously have authors who go and do signings and things, but it's not usually authors and fans having big connections or at conventions or whichever, because they know themselves. I think Stephen King is one of these people, Haruki Murakami, they write very autobiographical, but they know that they have the skill in their writing. That's where their message is, and the people reading it will love their books and enjoy it, but they won't have that connection with the author that they think they have. They've built a connection, which is a beautiful connection, by reading their words that are written there. But they wouldn't get the same feeling. They'd be disappointed nearly every time meeting the author.
But you can also say, like, this is true for actors. Like, they have a role. We can talk about Robbie Williams, for example. He was making the world laugh so many times. I mean, he was one of my biggest idols when I grew up because he was so funny, always kind, warm-hearted, like very including person. But he was so, like, unhappy. He was really unhappy. And he didn't think that the world would accept him as he was.
No, he didn't think he was worthy of all the praise that he got and all the all the joy that
This can be true for everyone. Like, this is not just people with creative juices. I think everyone has creative juices, by the way, but it's not just people who embrace their creativity. Is for everyone. Like, we hide behind what we think people will think of us instead of showing the people who we really are.
Yeah, it's lovely. I'd like to. I don't have a joke this week. I do, but I have a nice story if I can share that. That's okay.
Please do.
So I've recently bought a new car, a new second-hand car, but it's a new car for me. It's a Mini. It's very British with German technology. It's a mishmash of things, so it suits me down to the ground.
Vroom, vroom.
Vroom, vroom, indeed. And I've got a new thing with putting my phone in there, getting the music to play and stuff, and it's a whole big thing. So I don't have radio stations, but it plays random music off my phone. And I drive my son to school, and we usually do a thing of listening to music every time, and I let him choose the music on this new gear stick thingy I've got. It's quite new. If it's a song he likes, we say, oh, we'll play that. If it's something he doesn't like, he says, no, then we'll change it. I'd had a very fun experience the other day when I was changing through on the way to school with him, and I changed a couple of songs, and I started listening, and he was like, oh, can we listen to this one? And I changed it back, and he was, no, I want to listen to that one. And it was a song that I'd written about 12 years before. I didn't tell him that it was me who'd written it. And it was my old band called Mango Chunks. I just realised we should have had an album called Creative Juices. Mango Chunks, Creative Juices, all fits together. Everything's connected. Anyhow, so I played it was an old Mango Chunks song, and I didn't say anything until the end. I was like, oh, did you like that song, Jamie? That's my son's name. I said, oh, I really like that song. I was going to say, do you know it's your daddy who wrote that one and played it? I said, what? I said, yeah. I said, okay, we'll listen to it later as well. Yeah. So something I made, which not that I'd forgotten about, but it's kind of been on the back burner, but on the files on my phone, which then this new technology in the car, I read all the MP3s as I was playing. And my son heard me singing and playing, like probably for one of the first times he could remember. Didn't know it was me, but liked the song. And that really touched me in a way. I was like, oh, that's really nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I have a couple of similar incidents with my children when they catch me knowing things and doing things like playing the piano or the drums or
all your hidden talents.
Being in a band, and they're like, "Why didn't you tell me?"
It's like, "Our cool mom is a drummer in a band," and you're like, "Well, you never asked, right?"
How would I know you wanted to know? Yeah, it's wonderful. Well, we can honestly say that we're happy that you're here, and also don't be afraid to dive into your creativity, to your creative juice, and find what works for you. And please share it with us. We want to know.
Yeah.
Like, comment or send us an email at info@creativejuices.se. Just tell us how do you find your inspiration? How do you find your creativity?
Yeah, how do you find create? Yeah, if you want to make a banner, make a big banner and walk around in Stockholm somewhere with creative juices on it. We will find you. We will see it. We'll follow you around. Follow people watching. If they're so connected, no. But anyway, you want to
Stalking.
get in contact and any ideas that you have, share your ideas, share your creativity. Creativity can come from very different and wonderful places, but don't ignore the signs and don't ignore the signals.
Yeah, follow the breadcrumbs.
Follow the breadcrumbs. I've been Marcus Schilling. This has been
Camilla Udén.
We Are
Creative
Juices.
Juices. Bye.